Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm Madeline Giles and today I'll be informing you on the importance of relationships in between my two texts, The Crucible by Arthur Miller and The Call by Amar M. Sonderberg. Human experiences are the events, interactions and observations that encompass the life of a person. What a human undergoes distinguishes them as an individual but can also connect them to others, enforcing their connection as a community. With this in mind, being a part of a wide variety of aspects, relationships are a fundamental part of the human experience. Human experiences are an important part of coming to terms with how individuals interact with each other as well as how people interact in a bigger collective within pieces of literature. In regards to my chosen texts, The Crucible by Arthur Miller and The Call by Amar Sonderberg, I believe that these texts portray the existence of relationships as a human experience between individuals that grow to affect a wider collective of people. In the process, representing a source of complexity and struggle for all involved. In turn, these two texts have assisted me in furthering my knowledge of the complexity of human experiences and the struggles associated with them, allowing myself as well as a larger audience to delve into how human experiences assist individuals in gaining a rich, full and secure life. Although The Crucible focuses on issues in regards to corrupt societies within American towns, and The Call focuses on how war affects individuals and their families, each text notes on similar human experiences, emotions and qualities that are relevant to individual experiences within literature. Influenced by the Salem witch trials, The Crucible reflects on the progressively corrupt nature of individuals as hysteria slowly grows and impacts all characters as individuals, therefore impeding the community in a domino effect fashion. Protagonist John Proctor is evidently overwhelmed in a world where society's morals are becoming corrupt due to progressive probing from the mentally scarred teen Abigail Williams. Commonly perceived in Miller's writing, the themes of social decay, depression, desperation stemmed from his father when his garment manufacturing business had failed tremendously. Being able to see the previously stated human experiences in person had helped Miller to portray them in finer detail. Alongside the issues Miller's father faced, Arthur also found influence from relevant social influences such as McCarthyism, more commonly known as the Red Scare. Upon reflection, it is evident that both McCarthyism and the Salem witch trials both revolve around the basis of accusations and subversion of treason without proper evidence to support points of view. With this in mind, the audience can connect to the modern-day influences on a play that is set in the past and can observe how aspects of human society can influence individuals as well as a collective population through complex human emotions and the struggle associated with them. The Call by Amar Sonderberg is a short film that depicts the last interaction between a father and daughter before the daughter is killed in the midst of war. In this short film, the audience perceives the deep and emotional relationship between the family, which is evidently heightened by love, heartbreak and grief, more so in the form of losing the mother figure of the family when the daughter was a young age, emphasized by the photo seen towards the end of the video. Initially sounding like a regular conversation, the voices become more frantic and the call encounters a sudden turn and the audience gets to see what it's like on the other side of the phone. A war zone. Unfortunately, many families experience the loss of a relationship when family members and/or friends pass away in the event of war, therefore allowing individuals to have complex human emotions that they can struggle to deal with. In turn, these human emotions and the gradual breakdown of relationships can impede the community an individual resides in. When reviewing this particular text in video form, the first thing that came to my mind was that things can be experienced individually, but each individual experiences things subjectively, meaning that each experience an individual has can relate to other individuals within communities through subjective connection, such as feelings, opinions or tastes that give insight into the choices and qualities that can dictate human relationships and decisions. I personally believe that this is important in regards to The Call, as on each side of the phone, both the father and the daughter are experiencing the same emotion, but the surrounding influence changes the drastic nature of the call. Human emotions assist the audience in exploring how texts give insight into anomalies, paradoxes, and inconsistencies in human behaviour and motivations, inviting them to see the world from a different perspective and to challenge assumptions, ignite new ideas, or reflect on themselves. When considering particular texts, human experiences are relevant within all pieces of literature. Arthur Miller's The Crucible and Amar Sonderberg's The Call display these aspects in the context of war between individuals in regards to particular parts of the human experience, and have assisted me in furthering my understanding of how relationships offer a full, rich, and secure life, and simultaneously representing a source of complexity and struggle between individuals and within communities, showing how relationships are functioning within their respective societies and being able to connect similarities between the drastically different texts. Within my two chosen texts, both positive and negative relationships are displayed between individuals that ultimately affect surrounding communities. For example, the negative relationship between protagonist John Proctor and antagonist Abigail Williams within The Crucible affect the community of Salem in such a way that the small rumours that Abigail spreads drastically turn into a giant witch hunt, ending in a multitude of hangings and broken relationships between family, friends, and the community as a whole. More specifically, the relationship between John and Elizabeth Proctor becomes strained and similarly to the father and daughter in The Call. The individuals involved experience love, grief, death, and fear simultaneously. Universal experiences such as this allow the reader to understand the depth in which conflict between individuals and their worldview influence events such as war in The Call and the Salem witch trials from The Crucible. In conclusion, both of my chosen texts, The Crucible by Arthur Miller and The Call by Amar Sonderberg, display the importance of relationships in the human experience, subtly showing the audience that relationships are necessary for a rich, full, and secure life, whilst representing a source of complexity and struggle for individuals as well as communities. Thank you for listening. I hope this podcast broadened your knowledge on particular aspects of the human experience.